Okay. Yeah, the description, very important today. I explain everything. And we're going to look at this line, like I said in the description. So we start in node 1 going to the left. That's possible, so we advance to node 0. Still going to the left. And as a result of that, we mark node 1 as being explored to the left. And we mark node 0 as being explored to the right. I think that this should be reversed. Clearly, 0 was explored to the left. And then we mark 0 as explored to the left, probably because we can't go to the left. I mean, there's nothing. -1 doesn't exist. And reverse direction, which means that now we are trying to go to the right while still being in 0. But yeah, 0 is now marked as being explored left and right, so we stop. Yeah, well, it's a super short line, so I believe that this is just the problem here. This should not be explored to the right. We did not explore to the right at all. Let's try to find that in the code. Same here. So the first line here. So we go to the left. We mark it as explored to the left because we can't go to the left. Then it is marked as explored to the left while going to the right. We'll advance to 1 while still going to the right. And then 0 is marked as having been explored to the right. That seems correct. And the opposite direction is only done because we saw a minimum already, which was here. Yeah. And here I have go to that side, and then the previous node is marked as being explored in that direction, and this one is only done because we saw a minimum. And then here going to the left. No. Here I'm going to the left. It's kind of reversed. I mean, it's printed like 1, 0, but really 0 is on the other side. Annoyingly so. we did go to the left. We are still going to the left here. Did not even realize yet that is the end. Still, then I mark 1, the one that we came from, as being explored towards the left. Yeah, so that's the same as here. Going to the right, and we mark it as being explored to the right. And then we mark 0 as explored into the opposite direction, where 0 is current node. That is the same as here. But here I argued that is correct because we saw a minimum, but then I meant 0, not 2. So in this case we should not have seen a minimum yet. I guess it has been set because of 0 itself. But that is not what was intended. So we could advance here, and then I see that's an even index, so I set saw minimum. And then we do this, including marking that because we saw a minimum. Well, really that minimum is just itself, so that is wrong. Okay, now I really have to find it back in the code. It looks to be part of an advance. I think it's this thing, yeah. So we saw a minimum, therefore we mark the current index is explored in the opposite direction. So this should not have been set yet, purely as a result of the fact that the current node is even. So then where do we set it? Set to true when the current index is set. Yeah, that's a bit too early then. I mean, that happens here. It's part of the advance. Use the old value. Now we get errors. Great. Okay. This one now turned into starting at 1, going to the left, advance to 0, still going to the left. Mark 1 as being explored to the left. Huh? Yeah, okay, sorry. It's confusing because the 0 and the 1 are reversed. But this means that we came from 0, or no, we didn't. We went from 1 to 0, going left. So now 1 has been explored to the left. It's simple, actually. And then we do no longer mark 0 as being explored to the right, which is correct. We do mark it as explored to the left because we run into the end. We cannot go to the left. That's a good reason to mark it like that. I can show that in the code. That's, well, this rule here. So we try to go to the left, but this is not possible because we're at the beginning of the linked list. Then mark the current node as explored into that direction. And that's what is happening here. So this then prints that the fact that it is being explored, and only then we print this arrow, but well, I can leave it at that. I think it would be a little bit more understandable if I would maybe put a space here in front of this. So I'm gonna do that because it doesn't really belong to the thing before that. That would be this space. So it is marked as being explored to the left because we can't go to the left. Now it is marked, and we are now going to the right. We advance to 1, still going to the right. And then 0 is marked as being, is marked as being explored to the right. So now it is explored to both sides. As in that thing. And 1 is marked as being explored to the left. Advance to 2, do the same thing. Advance to 3, same thing. 4, same thing. And there's a space missing here as well. Yeah. So we can't go to further to the right. Therefore reverse the direction, but 4 is now and mark 4. So this advance causes 4 to be marked explored to the left, and then because that's the end, we mark it as explored to the right, and then it's explored in both ways. So now we're done. Do I get that? Yeah, this is a brute force, so this just simply assumes that 4 at this point is the best minimum. So it does not jump to any other minimum that we found. It just stays in 4 and then stops because the best minimum has been explored in both directions. The other option is that 4 is not the best minimum, and then we could jump to another one. And please read the description, there's a lot of information this time. There, so the minimum are the odd indexes, so it can also jump to 0 or 2, both of which already have been, this is an actual jump, both of which already have been marked as being explored to the left and the right. So at this point we can either, we basically would jump to the best minimum, which can be 4 or 0 or 2. The indentation, however, is wrong. This jump here must replace Not even sure. This kind of happens always. I think this happens and then, well, this happens because of that. And then maybe we jump. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's fix the indentation, so we know where this string takes over. It's like keep this intact and then continue like that. But then I need my indentation correct, of course. Which means that every time you print something, yeah, I need to call add string length. So the arrow is printed, and then in this case we print one character. In this case 2. And the index. And in this case we print another character. I'll do it like this, I guess. It's the only bloody place where I do that. So all the other cases where we print to standard cout, I forgot to do that. Okay, this is 1 plus an arrow plus an index plus a bracket. That makes over total of 4, because indices are always smaller than 10. And yeah, that is used. Right. Suppose string length is reset at appropriate times. find out where that happens. Never. Well, that's suspicious. Just the hijacks the fact that we make copy of state objects. It's not part of this object. Yeah. Sorry, let's not do this in the correct way, but in the fast way, because I'm getting really tired of putting time into something that is just... This is not printed here, but printed every time I call this thing. Maybe I should not have done that. Wait a minute. 2. That won't work either, I think. I'll just redo this. Direction is right. And here we have call set export, and then the direction is left. Yeah, just barely, just too ugly. It's like seriously ugly. But opposite direction. Oh boy. The current node. Yeah, that would be just current index and can't print current index. That is an unsigned char. I think I can do get current index. Then we get an int. Get index. Yeah, that is also the wrong method. It's a method of node. This is previous index. This is then again get current index. Get current index. This is also then get current index. Current node. Yeah, something went wrong because it even got past the whole thing. Too much. Dang. How to solve that? Maybe it was just in too ugly way. Yeah, it was an octopus. Let's admit it. It was really ugly. This should not be done. I'm gonna revert it. Because I don't have a backup. So, well, I do have a backup, but I'm too lazy to get a backup. So I'm just do it out of my head. Means that all of these lines must be removed again. Every time we have a set explored. Probably won't fix it, but I already was thinking this is too ugly. This should really be printed here, of course. So I'll just have to pass state, and I'll pass the state reference. Oops, there must be passed. I'll pass an extra state reference to state, which then means that because state is only defined there, we have to pre-declare it, and then it's incomplete, so we can't use it. Which means that I have to declare this and then define it later after we have state defined, as in, for example, here. And no, it still won't work. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I don't think any. Oh. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. So now I have to pass that to all the set explore calls. Maybe I'm too lazy to add a star, so really I should just pass a state pointer. Not pretend to have a reference. Okay. And yeah, we get the same thing, but yeah, what is causing that? That's a good question. Let's do the following. Every time I update this thing here, I'm gonna print a new line and then immediately the number of spaces that we have. At the moment means we have so if this is called extra length, going to do well, first add it, I guess, and then we print a new line with flush. Yes, and immediately what is it? Set W was used. Yes, that trick was used. Hello, Mr. 3 characters. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, this is already one too much. Well, we wanted to have this printed against that, so one space has been added too much. That would be the very first call too. Strange. GB 8.out run webs break main run next direction. There it is printed in the constructor already. Step. String length is set to 0 here. Step. Finish. Step. Fill the nodes. Set current index and then print. Set current index doing something. Set current index. Is visited. Checks set visited. Without flush. adding flush and inlines all over the place, so we can do this during debugging. No, here's no flush. Print arrow. Oh yeah, the arrow is empty. It doesn't print anything anyway. Again, no flush. Prints the current index, which is just 0. And then we do the string length or arrow plus 2. Yeah, 2. But that would be... Oh, wait a minute. I did not print an arrow. Aha. 122. Okay, let's just split this thing up in a billion pieces. Holy space. What the hell, where did that space come from? Okay, we'll have to step through it again. But I already know that it happens at printing that arrow. Yeah. Still no clue, so I'll just have to debug it through it. That was already it. Advance. Or is it just because of a flush? No. To line 251, I think that's a breakpoint here. Run, continue, step. Well, we do print a space here at string length 1. Set explored. I should have went into that. Or is it still correct? That's still correct, I think. We have the 0 and a little arrow here, and then we have this space, and then we have this, so it didn't even print any spaces. And the total number of spaces now should be, I have no idea. I don't even know what, 7. Okay, is that true? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Totally happy with that. And then we do a jump to the current index. Frame step. Set current index. I don't know what was doing anything, so I'll just step through everything. Set visited. That again. Set current direction, I believe that one. Print arrow. I think that one was correct as well, wasn't it? Print arrow, add 4. String length. String length is now 12. Why is it 12? Why the heck is it 12? I am on. I hate this kind of bugs. No, this I thought I just stepped through it, but it's already a bit too hard. So instead, let's use a breakpoint. So my short-term memory already forgot what the problem was. The problem is I don't think this number of spaces is correct. So I did reach this point, and then we had 12 spaces, which is already, I don't know, kind of weird in my eyes. But this was printed at the right point. So either too many spaces was added after this. No, wait a minute, it's added. Oh, that is printed. Yeah. I have no clue, man. Could replace the spaces with some number, and then the number refers to the part. You could at any moment see which part caused how many spaces. Although there seems to be only one bug left. The same number of spaces here and here. It's kind of like, yeah, but it also happens here, so and there. So I would say it has to do with printing a new index, a new node. That is print itself. Okay, that's too silly. I know what is the problem. problem is this, the string length of arrow, where arrow contains an UTF-8 character, which is multi-character, and string length is just counting bytes. So that ain't working. How long are my arrows is not a question. In terms of printed characters, this one is empty. This is 3. Empty. Right? Do I have only one print? Print arrow. I'm sure I had multiple prints. What the? Oh, here. Yeah, of course. So the length of jump. That's also 3, also 3. Also 3, also 3. So it's either 3 or 0. Rip. So now the vertical bar is every time under the last character. So this is correct. Good. I use a single thing. Yep, there it is. So instead of printing this, I just want to print this. And I don't want to print the end line. In fact, I don't want to print anything. Okay, so this thing starts with a space. It follows this, where this is just the marking off. And really it looks like I'm missing a space again. Should be a space in front of this and this. Why? How can that suddenly be gone again? Oh, I added it here, but not in the other one. This is completely symmetrical. This is right and that is left. So these two lines also have to be added here. So we could advance from 3 to 4, mark stuff, and then jump to 0. Or we can try to continue, so that would be an advance. Trying to advance means well, a failure, therefore a marking. So it would be more logical to reverse this, put this one before that. But yeah. So this is marked as being explored to the right because we can't go to the right. And then we are still in 4, at which point we are done because it's explored in both directions. Or we jump back to 0, which is also explored in both directions. Same thing for 2. Now, that it is explored in both directions is because we start with going to the left, trying to go to the left, which is not possible. So then it is marked as being explored to the left because you couldn't go to the left. And then we mark it as being explored to the right because we advance to 1 to the right. However, in this case, we start at 0, but we don't go to the left. We start with immediately going to the right, which then causes 0 to be marked as explored to the right, but it is not marked as being explored to the left. Which means if then we continue all the way here, and we decide to jump back to 0, it's only marked as being explored to the right. And the jump causes us to reverse direction, so now we're trying to go to the left, which then of course is again not possible, and therefore it's also marked as explored to the left, and then we're done anyway. So that's good to see that worked. And since 2 is an even node, it could be that this is a minimum that is worse than this minimum. And then we stop and we want to explore the other side of 0. So you get the same string as here. You just jump back to 0, which is not explored to that direction, but we can't go there, and then we're done. Now here an error occurs. Okay. I am going to have a quick look, however, at this one. If we start in the middle, 2, and we just advance to 3, and then to 4, and then, well, forget 4 being the best. 4 is worse than 2. So we jump to 2, and the direction was reversed, so now we advance to 1, and then we advance to 0, and then it's possible that 2 was still the best, so we jump back to 2, and now 2 has been explored in 2 directions. Yeah, I think the program is working. It's really working. Okay, so then what's with the error? In this case, we're going to the left, Therefore we end up in 0. Still trying to go to the left. Marking 1 as being explored to the left. Can't go any further. So 0 is explored to the left. And we want to go back. And we go back, which is correct. So the error is not correct. Dang. It is not correct because we still, well, okay. This is 0.4 and I skipped 0.4 because I thought it wasn't relevant. 0.4 being this. At some moment it can happen that we jump from a minimum or an index that is even to a previously visited even index. So that means that there's no jump involved here. Well, there is sort of a jump involved. Because we can't go further, we kind of jump to ourselves. And the direction inverted. If that new node was, sorry. Sorry, okay. So we go from 0 to 0. And if that new node was already marked as explored in both directions, then the algorithm stops. But it is not. Otherwise, you continue from there in the direction that wasn't explored yet, which is then to the right in this case. So we reverse direction. And then we go to the right. Note that if at that point it is discovered that the next node, that is 1, was already visited, and it is, then we go there immediately. We would anyway, but this is a special way of moving to the next node. However, 0.3 is applied nevertheless. The new node, which must be green, aka odd, is marked as having been explored into direction of that last red node. So, it has apparently, according to the description, has to be marked as being explored towards 0 again, towards the left. But this should not happen because we didn't really advance, we just jumped there magically. We should just continue from here. Plus, that says visiting an odd index for the second time, so So the problem is that I'm calling set current index, which is coded for a normal advance. Which would then return an error because we already visited it. And in this case, this is allowed because we just jumped. So set current index does what? Yeah, yes. If it is odd and already visited, it is an error. Vissel Bissoa, please read the description below the video. It is described what I'm doing there. Current index is already changed. The reason I'm hesitating here is because this only returns true, which is then error, if the current index is odd. Then please read the title of the video. It says C++, so maybe I'm using C++. And what do you mean, what library? I'm using the standard C++ library. And I'm drinking something. Current index. I think I'm just going to build this in directly into the jump. So I do Control T here, then are we now in jump? Please let us be in jump. No, in advance. Shit. That is logical, I guess. Probably should be part of jump anyway. Yeah, it's it's getting more and more complex, but this is kind of part of the jump. I think it should be. So let's copy this. And then delete again what we don't need here. You also go in the same initializer except that somebody can have another jump. Well, this is jump, so blah blah. If the new node was already marked as explored, both direction we stop. That's also not the case or of our interest here. Otherwise, we continue there in the direction that wasn't explored yet, which is dubious because really I'm just inverting the direction. But that's what I'm doing in reality as well. So, la. I'm saying that. No, it's not that easy. I have to take all of that into account. Fish hull, yeah, no, really. I'm trying to concentrate. So if the current node has been explored in both directions, So the next node must exist and be visited. Very complex. So we go right, and there is a room on the right, and that node is already visited. Then we go there immediately. That means that I must call set current index, I think, to be current index plus 1. Which does what I want, and then returns true or false. Also sets a minimum. Still okay, I guess. It sets visited, but it was already visited, so I don't care. It returns true. Don't care if it returns true or not. I think that seems to work this. Okay, the new node must be green, apparently. So if this happens, this one or this one, then the new node must be odd, which is kind of logical and already asserted here. You can only jump to an even index, so and current index is set to that, so that is even. So we set the current index here always to odd, plus or minus 1, which means that this never happens, and this is always true. And we are literally just tested that it was visited, so this is also true. So this returns true here, so it must always return true. I could test that, I guess. So boolean ignored error. But yeah, that depends again on the direction, so I might as well do that in here, I think. No, wait, we jumped there. What? 0.3 applied. Nevertheless, the new node is marked as having been explored into the direction of the last red node. So that is then the current node, because we already went there. Set explored. And the opposite direction. Direction that we came from. So that would be the opposite of the unexplored direction. No. No matching function for call to. I have to pass this thing. This. Still errors. Although I think it looks different. Before we got an error after this. No, that even doesn't occur. Okay, what happens here? From 1 to 0 and then dead end and then to 1. And here we have from 1 to 0. Dead end. So back to 0. Reverse direction. It didn't print that we went to 1, but it clearly happens because then we are into and this happens again. So yeah. Now, okay. So this part is what I just coded. I probably should print that we go to. We jump to 1 before we advance. Can just do that by calling print, I think. Yeah, so. See how that looks like. So that is okay. Let's use a more fancy arrow, of course. I had in mind, what kind of arrow reflects that jump to the neighbor, an already existing, a visited neighbor? Could use this one. I think I had a wavy arrow, this one. We tunnel through it. Let's see how that looks like. Okay, a wavy arrow. So what happens? We go from 1 to 0 and then to turn swap directions, tunnel to 1, and then advance to 2 as I wanted. Then we 1 to 3 and to 4. And then either we're done if 4 is the best, but it can also happen that we jump back to the best 0 being 0 or 2. No, it's not true. Well, actually, I don't know. Let's do this one. It's the first error. We jump to 0, which has been explored only to the left by running into this dead end. Okay. And then we immediately tunnel again to 1. For the same reason, I guess, because it was already explored to the left, so we have to go to the right. And 1 was already visited, therefore we jump there immediately. But that means that we magically went to a node, an odd node, and that was already explored in both directions. That should not happen, because we already explored the left side and we already explored the right side here, because we went from 1 to 2. So I kind of agree with this. This is not good. So then what should have happened? I think that what should have happened is that 0 should already have been marked being explored left and right. And that should have happened. It was marked left, so it should have happened. It should have been marked as explored to the right at the moment we discovered 2. So at this moment, and that is exactly the bug that I have. I think. Well, not exactly, but yeah. So this is the same error anyway. We jump to 0, and that should have been the end of it. But 0 is not marked. It's being explored to the right yet. Therefore we run into this error. Here we get we jump to 2, and 2 is not marked. Being explored left and right. It's marked as being explored to the right, not to the left. That's the same thing then, right? So at the moment we read 0 here, we should have marked 2 as being explored to the left. Still the same thing. And here 2 is also not marked as being explored to both sides. It is explored to that one, so it should have been marked being explored in the opposite direction at the moment that we found 4, which did not happen. Same thing then. Here it is, the problem is 4. So 4 should have been marked as well as explored to the left the moment we found 2, after finding 4 already. So that would be here. 4 is found, and we went to 3, then to 2. All the while going to the left, so then 4 should have been marked as being explored to the left. And it isn't. Same thing here. So jump here, and then this error already happened. And here we have no errors. So the rest is okay. Yeah. Now, how am I going to implement that? Is it time for a walk? I guess it's time for a walk, guys. The sun is shining. I have less than 100 viewers. Let's see, so I'm going for a walk. I'm just kidding. Well, I believe that at some point I had 200 viewers, somewhere in the beginning. Everyone was wondering what the fuck they were looking at. That was when the algorithm of YouTube was still broken. I still wonder if they manually fix this, because people were so spammed with my streaming that like the whole world was joining, because YouTube was spamming everyone. Van, you have to go to see this. Look, someone is streaming live. Yeah, that was funny. Lasted a month or what. Okay, I'll be back later. I can go for a walk in the sun and think about this. And then once that is fixed, we can try 7 nodes and 9 nodes and brute force that. And I kind of expect that everything that just works. Having more nodes won't reveal new bugs. Okay.